Hello everyone, welcome back in this episode series here. I believe you seen this from my gel cap or gel cap knee pad episode. I'll put a link up there to show you guys. And as you can tell, it's really well lit here. If you haven't already seen my episode series on this plug here, and what I did was I reclaimed this overhead fluorescent light, as you can see right there, and only not all of it works, which is good because it would be really bright. But man, it makes a big difference. It's on rafters, just above. I have an open garage, and all I did was just connect this to the male connector and just had it plug in. I know it seems kind of this seems really hokey, but you know it works. So here's the switch right here for me to turn off, and I have it kind of wired around there, so just in case it doesn't hit into the garage. And then kind of hanging here, which is also another switch to turn off. Well, turn off that and that if I need to. And you know where I got these plugs here, these outlets, got them for free. So y'all probably know that already by now. So it's just hanging here, which is fine. It works for me, and it was free. I mean, what can I say? I reclaimed that light fixture. But anyways, back to this. If you notice from the last from that episode with the gel cap knee pads, the box is a little different. And what happened was if you know why I got this, was because I thought I lost this screw right here. But it was in the basket. It just came out of the basket. That's all. And what happened was that this, from pulling the trigger, so many times you can see it actually moving right there. See this part right here? You can actually see it moving as you pull the trigger. So, and you know, I'm spraying and you're pulling the trigger all the time. You know, it comes loose. But fortunately, I found this in the basket that I keep all my general painting tools, and so I put it back together. And so I was thinking, well, now I don't need my new one. Let me take this one back. So I took the old box back, and as I took the old box back, before I took it back, actually what I did was I was looking at the spray paint guns. I was just, I always kind of go over there, and I noticed this box was different. Although this is the item number on it, 47016, but the box is different, and it looks new. You know, it's not the old style box. And so I was like, okay, this is kind of different. Maybe let's take a look inside. So I went ahead and opened it, and what I noticed right off the bat was, you see that? You can't see it. I might have to take it out of the bag. Oh, there you go. You can see it now. Look at that. There's no screw. They redesigned this. So I guess someone's paying attention over there. There's the washer, of course. So let me open this up for you. So I'm going to do just a quick review on this, and it's kind of like an update because I've obviously been using this, and thank goodness I found the screw for it, and I think I'll still use it. There's nothing wrong with it. This is a great spray gun for something that cost very little compared to something very expensive, I guess. You know, what would you rather pay? A lot more or very little? I don't know. I'd pay very little, considering what it does. It sprays paint. I mean, okay. And if you've seen the work that I do, I'm not painting cars yet. Maybe I will. Depends. But let's put this two side by side. I gotta make sure I don't lose that washer. But right off the bat, I mean, let's take a look. It's so well lit up here. The lighting's just fantastic, isn't it? Maybe a little too fantastic. Gotta put it somewhere else. There we go. And so let's take a look here at the two spray guns. And you know, first thing we'll notice right off the bat, which I noticed immediately, was this improvement right here, because that screw did come off, and you know, that was an improvement. Maybe when I purchased this, I just bought an old box because it was there. I know they're always trying to get rid of their old stock, and then because I've seen this box, the newer boxes before. I just never realized what the difference was. You know, but there's a major difference right there. This is no longer a screw. This is some kind of I don't know what it is, lock, washer or something. But this they kept the same from here, as you can see. That's the same. So that's still the same here, but this is different. So I noticed right away this is different. So I was gonna return and just get my money back, but what I decided to do was, you know, since these are so inexpensive, and this is a newer model with this, you know, being the upgrade here, the fix, I guess, the modification that they did, that was done on this to correct the design flaw of this. I know why they did it, because, you know, the thinking was that you could take this off and disassemble everything and wash everything, but the problem was I tried taking this off, and it's kind of hard. I can't seem to take it off, so it's kind of difficult to clean behind here and everything. But then again, you know, the spray paint shouldn't really get behind there anyway, so it's not a big deal. I never did take it off to clean it. So that's a major difference right there off the bat. So this is a great improvement. So get this particular model if you can. I haven't sprayed it with it, obviously, but if it's anything like the old model, I mean, I can't imagine this not working versus this working, you know. But I would have to say, or, you know, without testing it, just by looking at it, obviously it's the same thing. It's a spray gun. I mean, how hard can it be, right? But this is a big improvement, because as you're spraying, obviously, you know, you pull this trigger quite often, and what's going to happen is that screw is going to eventually get loose, and you know, you keep spraying, you're never going to know, and it comes out either when you wash it or when you clean it or while you're spraying, and then you're like, you know, you'll be pulling this trigger, and it's, you know, you're pulling it because this is the pivot right here, but this is moving forward, and the needle's not going back. You know, the needle's not going back, and you're like, okay, what's going on? My thing broke. Well, no, the screw came out. So that's a big improvement on it. And so let me just take a look through this gun here. Let's see how much gunk is in here. I don't really see a lot. Of course, I haven't taken it apart yet, but let's see here. Let me get the flashlight, of course. Handy dandy flashlight. But you can get your own if you just, you know, find the free flashlight coupon and go to Harbor Freight and buy something. Or if you know anyone that has a free, no purchase required coupon flashlight, I know that they exist. I'd like to get one because man, I would just go to Harbor Freight every day and just go get a flashlight because it would save me on buying batteries. So, see, that's inside. You can clearly see the needle. I don't see any of the silicone or any other, you know, how can I say? They just had a lot of gunk in here, which I had to take the gun apart and clean. So I'm hoping that they fix that as well, and they use something else other than that. Of course, a lot of grease. You always see a lot of grease right there around the gun. You can see a little bit of grease. You can see a little bit of grease right there. Maybe be able to pick it up. Is that the silicone? No, that's just a little bit of grease. So they always have a little bit of grease around the needle, which is typical, as I would expect. So, okay. So that's not too bad here. Let me take out this piece here. And so I never did a review on the 20-ounce high volume, low pressure gravity feed spray gun. So here's a chance for me to do it. But since they made that upgrade here, that modification fix, okay, everything's the same. I'm wondering, I'm contemplating if I should just go ahead and just take it out. So let's see what comes with it. So your typical, yes, your typical spray bottle. Oh, this is different. The label is different. You can see here, that was the old label. This is the new label. So there is some, looks like there is some changes here. I wonder how long this is going to last. So it basically somewhat same information. Of course, this actually tells you what it is, the brand, and then what it is, and 50 to 70 psi. This just gives you a warning. Tells you never exceed 70 psi. Of course, you see I've used this quite a bit. So, okay, the labeling is kind of different. All right. Let's see what tools come with it. Of course, you have your filter and your brush to clean it. And well, you know, God darn it, it didn't come with any damn tools. I'm gonna have to take this one back. This is ridiculous. I guess I didn't check to see if it had tools or not. Or maybe this thing doesn't come with any tools. But that's ridiculous because I just unscrewed the nose of this thing, so I know that it requires the tools. Okay, well, alright, this didn't come with any darn tools, which it should have, because I don't know how you, unless, yeah, you should be able to take this apart. So let me see if I can do it with one hand. Nope, can't do it with one hand. So I got the older tool from this, but I'm still gonna go back and get my tool because, well, it gives me another set. So you like that? This is my cart right here, barbecue pit that I modified to basically make into a welding table slash cart slash table, tool holder, storage, you name it, whatever it can be. That's what I made it for. I don't want to take this out, so other than opening this because it was a barbecue pit, I'll just come around here. Gosh darn it. There we go. See a little bit better. I'm trying to look for the there it is, finally. It's right here all this time. Okay. So this came from my original, so I'm going to have to use that. So I don't have to go back and get my tools. Should have checked it. Oh well. I thought I did, but maybe I didn't. So you should also get one of these to go along with opening this thing, with 4 little pins as well, which I have. I'll just use, let me see if I can just grab 2. 1 and 2. I'm going to grab my little metal to hold these, because you don't want to lose them, I'll tell you that much. So this should be going in here, good. Ah, it sounds really pretty tight. Sounds pretty tight here. Let me see if I remember left. Turning it to the left should loosen it. Ah, there we go. Now let's see how much silicone they put on this thing here. Oh, I should have loosened the needle. That's probably why it was. Maybe that's why it was hard to turn. There we go. So here's the needle. That's a lot of grease, of course. The spring is pretty tight too. Let's put that right there. So there you go. Yeah. A lot of whatever this is. Still got a lot of that. May or may not interfere with the airflow. See if you see all that. So it may or may not interfere with all the airflow, but that's what you see. That's what it is. That's what's in there. So there's that, and then here's this piece, which isn't too bad because this is how it was for the other gun, and you read the reviews on it. It says just clean the crap, take it apart and clean the crap out of it, because it just, all the stuff and debris gets loose and just clogs the spray gun to the point where, well, you just get tired of taking it apart and cleaning it, taking it apart and cleaning it. So let's take this other piece out. Okay. So to take the other piece off, you gotta utilize this side. And this is the tool that you need. If you don't have this in the box, you're never going to be able to really clean this And so you take these, and you take this, and I'm just going to use 2. Looks like the holes fit. So everything fits. And I should have moved it a little bit better, put it in a better position here. There we go. Put it in that way so I can turn this. I never really like using this thing. Man, they're on tight. I may have to use all 4. If that's the case, I'll just go ahead and just try to see if they could catch in the parts washer or into the magnetic holder, parts holder. Give me a better grip. I go ahead and put 4 of these on here. Okay, so the old stuff, the old tools work with the new parts, so good. And then maybe I'm turning the wrong way. Man, it's really freaking on there really good. Let's see if I can use some leverage here. Sorry if you're not seeing this, but yeah, finally. Ooh, finally. Okay, now you can see it. Now let's take this apart and let's take a look. Okay, this part isn't too bad. But there you go. There's that piece right there. So it doesn't look that bad. You could probably use it out of the box and still spray paint with it, but that's what's on this piece here. On this particular piece, see, like debris like that will get into the cavity and just clog the needle or the hole that the needle goes through. So let's take a look inside here. So that's what's inside, and it's not that bad, but then again it's not that great. And what happens over time is that it starts flaking away and peeling away and everything. But so far I don't have any leaks with it. If anything, where the leaks really come from are right here in this area, and of course where the lid is. That's where the leaks come from, because you either don't have the washer right here, which the washer is right over here, this thing. It's not tight enough, so it leaks on through, which I don't have that problem. It's this little washer is tight enough here, but when you just turn the spray gun around or you move it around, the paint splashes in here and it eventually just gets leaked around. So I'm going to check the bottle here, see if they are interchangeable, if they work together. So let's check out the new one. Okay, the new one looks good. New one looks brand new. Okay, looks pretty much like the same one. Let's see how interchangeable they are. You see this? Yeah, they had the both measuring 100, 200, 300. I'm assuming those are cc's or whatever, liters. So let me see if the top is interchangeable. Yeah, the tops are still interchangeable. So everything's pretty much the same. Pretty much the same. The only design change they made was this piece right here, which I think is it's an improvement. So I know that much. I'll say that much anyway. It's an improvement. So let's just put this back together again, shall we? If you're wondering how to put it back together. Okay, just make sure you're getting a good viewing space. I hope this lighting is good for you guys. Because man, I had to lift that damn thing up there. Okay, let's put this back in here. Let's see here. Not sure if I'm going to use all these. Put it back in. Probably just use 2. I don't want it super tight because you gotta take it out, put it back together. I just want it tight enough to. Okay, that's good enough for me. That's good enough for me. Put this back in, and like I said, as you take it apart, put it back together, take it apart, and put it back together. It goes. The sealant will just start coming apart. This is slightly a little bit looser, but that's alright, still workable. I'll do it. Oh. Okay. And so the needle and the spring, see if they'll catch. Goes through the hole pretty easy. Goes through pretty easy. Goes all the way in. Excellent. Let's see if it how well it screws back in. If you've seen my painting series, I paint with latex on this, and it works. The thing is, if you're gonna get this and you're gonna clean it, after you clean it, put some oil on it, especially around the threads, because if you use latex, of course it's water-based. You're gonna be washing it with water. This is made of steel. It's not, aluminum or stainless steel or anything. It's made of steel, and it will rust. So don't think yeah, see. This thing it's made of steel. So don't think this is, it's magnetic. So don't think that, it's not going to rust. It will rust. That's the only thing about it. But if you clean it and you blow air around it, put a little bit of oil on it. I like to set this needle to the point where I'm spraying all the way back here. Just a little bit more. And there we go. So that I hit this, go all the way in. That's the way I like to set it. Anyways. So I got some, just use some of this oil. It's basically the oil that you use to with your automotive tools, your nail gun, stuff like that. I'll usually put it right around where the screws are. Just to get them to work really good. And again, not to really rust on me. And another part where you want to put from, sometimes this part right in here, where this part is right here, this piece right here, it gets a little sticky. Put some oil on it, because it will get sticky. There we go. Some oil in here. And oiling it helps kind of add a little protection from the water. So if you ever use latex, you can, it does help a little bit. I'm not saying it won't rust. It will rust, but you can definitely do a lot with this air gun or the spray gun here. Or you just do some simple care and maintenance with it. So just take a rag to wipe it down a little bit. Doesn't take much. It's a cheap gun, but if you take care of it, it does work. And this controls how much air is coming in. And when you clean the gun, this part will get wet, so put a little bit of lubrication on it to have it turn smoother. Give it a little protection against moisture. Sometimes you'll leave your tools out, or it gets a little foggy, humidity, whatever the case is. Adding a little oil to it really does help. Oiling your tools. Don't oil it too much where you get oil in your paint, but wipe it down a little bit too. So there you go. Alright, that moves so much smoother now. This moves a lot smoother too. No, excuse me. So there we go. And another spot you want to put is oil right there where the trigger meets, because you just get a lot of friction right there. So just put some right there, just to put something on it. Okay. Alright. Normally what I would, if I did have the time, which I'm not going to have the time right now because it's such an expensive gun. You don't want to put too much time into it. Once you realize, wow, you can get it for so cheap. I mean, you want to take care of it, but at the same time, you don't want to put your whole life's work into trying to maintain it. But I would usually just take this apart and oil everything, oil every thread and all that. But I'm not going to do that this time. I did it with this because I read the reviews and I thought, I was like, man, this gun's going to be my gun forever, and it probably will. But at the same time, I just bought a second one, so because I was just it's just a sentimental value now. I was just trying to maintain my first gun here. Okay, and the last piece here, which is really easy, and I don't really thread I don't oil any of the parts where the paint would be, because you don't want oil in your paint. There we go. It's 0.104 tip here. I guess that's what it's saying. And a good way to, without hooking it up, of course, a good way to let the air flow in is if you have one of these here, you could just stuff it in here and just blow some air in, pull the trigger. Of course, you got to loosen this to allow some air to go through. Turn that off, but that's just a quick way to clear the old pipes. Just pull that trigger and just stick this right in there, and you should be able to get see, there you go. You got some air just blowing at you. So there you go. So that's kind of what I wanted to show you on this one, and I got the second one because of that. And this is probably the gun I'm going to use when I go out into the field, okay? And because of this particular reason, that way I can start spraying. I don't have to worry about losing any parts and pieces. I'm definitely going to go get my tool because I'm going to let them know I was missing my tool, damn it. Okay. Well, I think that pretty much concludes this episode here. Yeah, I'm missing my tools. Son of a gun. So I'm going to have to go back and go get my tool. But there you go. There's the comparison between the two. I'll take you guys out now after okay. So there's a comparison between the two. But for the most part, they're pretty much the same gun. Exactly the same. Except for, had it flipped over the wrong way. Except for this, this critical piece right here being replaced with this piece. So if you're able to see that, this has a screw. This piece has some kind of lock nut washer on it. Let me see if I can get a closer view of it. You've already seen it though. But this is the box that it comes in. I don't have the other box, but just take a look at this. It has more this yellow stuff right here on it. more of this yellow thing, and if you want to take a look into it, you'll see that the labeling is a little different. And of course, you can always check the gun to see that there's no screw on this holding it in. And then of course you want to check your tool. You want to make sure you get one of these with 4 little pins here. 4 little pins. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Oh, they're all sticking onto me now. So 1, 2. There you go. 1, 2. I already bent one. Already bent a few of these things. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, this looks a little bent right there. I have to fix that. So yeah, so make sure you get that and brush. Of course, I got the brush and everything, but no tool. Well, I guess another trip to Harbor Freight. That's all right. I love, you know how much I love going. So that concludes the episode series on this 20 ounce Hvlp gravity feed spray gun. Hope this was helpful for you. So when you purchase, I recommend you purchase the newer model. And the newer models, the box will just have, there's several numbers to them, but this is the number that's on the box, which is now the only number apparently. And this is the design on the box. Let me close this up for you so you can see on the top too. There we go. That's the design on it. I think it has a black top on it. Yellow, a little bit yellow on the sides here. Okay. Of course, you can always check the tool. So, all right. Hope that helped you out. Thank you very much for watching, and hope you enjoyed this episode series. And please stay tuned for the next episodes, probably coming very, very soon. So, thank you now. Bye.